Welcome back, everyone. This is it, gang, the final step. We need to learn how to take a fully scrambled 2x2x2x2 and turn it into a version where all of the pinks and purples are on the outside stickers. So looking at this fully scrambled one over here, you can see that there are some pinks and purples on the outsides, but there are also some pinks and purples in the interior diamonds, and that's no good. We need to get all of the pinks and purples to migrate to the outsides of all of the corners. Before we jump into the method, let's motivate it a little bit. Again, the goal is to get all of the pinks and purples onto the outsides of all of these pieces. Suppose by some miracle that we take a fully scrambled cube and end up in this position where all the pinks and purples are either in the U layer or in the D layer. Well, how would you get this to look like this? Well, you would just do the gyro, right? Because we learned long ago that the gyro swaps the outside stickers, all of these ones here, with the stickers that are in U and D. And so as soon as you do the gyro on this, all of these pinks and purples on U and D end up on the outsides, and we get to a case like this. So the goal is really this, which we can then gyro to turn into this. And now I'll do a random scramble on my cube. You are welcome to follow along and do exactly my scramble if you wish. I'll do the turns slowly enough for you to keep up. Otherwise, you can just do your own random scramble on your own cube. I'm reminding you here on screen of what the 4 allowable moves are for us. You can take the 2x2x2s apart and rotate them independently. You can rotate any long face 180 degrees. You can do the gyro. This is the one move we didn't do in our last video, but now we're including it in this full-fledged random scramble. And then finally, you can do axial twists, also known as arcade tees. There's a long face turned 180 degrees, and now I'll do my first gyro of the scramble. So we grab the left slab, pull it off, put it on the right, open the book, pick up that slab from the right, put it onto the left, right cube twice, back twice, down twice, and left cube twice. I don't think it's sufficient to only do one gyro as you're doing the scramble, because if you only do the one gyro, then you're going to end up with all 16 pink and purple pieces in the interior diamonds. And that isn't random, right? You should have pinks and purples interior and also exterior. And the same thing with all of the other pairs of colors, not just pinks and purples. So make sure you do at least 2 gyros. I'd recommend not doing a gyro as your very first move, because if you do that, all you've done is swapped all of the pinks and purples on the outsides with another opposite pair of stickers that are all going to be on the outside. So if you do a gyro first, I still think you need to do at least 2 more gyros throughout the process of scrambling. It turns out it is possible to fully scramble the cube without doing a single gyro, and I'll show you at the start of the next video a very efficient, fast way to fully scramble your cube. We'll just do one final rotation of the 2x2x2s and call this the end of our official scramble. All right, let's jump into the method. You've either got my random scramble in front of you or your own random scramble. Either way is fine. What we're going to do is start counting purples and pinks, and I'm going to ask you to remember 6 numbers. Let's break these 2 cubes apart. We'll begin by looking at the left-hand cube. What we're going to do is count the number of pink or purple stickers in the interior diamond on the up face and the down face. We're just doing a total of those 2. So I see 1 purple right there, and then on the down face, no pinks and purples in here in the diamond. So that's a total of 1. That's the first of 6 numbers we're going to remember. Now we're doing a different pair of opposite faces, still counting pinks and purples. Let's look at the front face and the back face. So here in the front, I've got 1 pink and purple. And then looking at the back face, we've got 3 pinks and purples. They're all pink in this case. So adding up the 1 here and the 3 on the back gives me 4. So that's the second number we're remembering. So we had 1 on the top and bottom, 4 in the front and back. And now we'll look finally at the left and right, pinks and purples again. I see 1 purple down there, and then looking at the left side, I see 2 purples over here. Adding up the 1 and the 2 gives me 3. So my 3 numbers are 1, 4, and 3. You can swap the orders around, doesn't make any difference. But anyway, 1, 3, and 4. Let's put them in increasing order. We do the same thing over on this other cube. We'll start with the up and down faces. I've got 2 up there, and then 1 down there. That's a total of 3. That's the 4th number I'm memorizing. Let's do front and back. I see 1 here. Another 2 there, that's another 3. You can memorize another 3. The fact is, it doesn't much matter if you have duplicates. You don't need to remember. But anyway, we've got 3 and 3 so far. And then on the right and left, we've got 1 here and then 1 there. And that's a total of 2 on the right and left. So this one has 3, 3, 2. This one had 1, 3, and 4. And what we're hoping is that we can somehow take one of the numbers that we memorized here and one of the numbers that we memorized here and add them up and get 8. The magical number 8. Shouldn't be at all clear why we're seeking the number 8, but anyway, it will become clear later in this video. We want 2 of these numbers to add up to 8. It can't be 2 of the numbers from one cube. It has to be one number from this cube and one number from this cube adding up to 8. So in our case, we had 1, 3, and 4. Over here, we had 2, 3, and 3. Adding up the biggest number here, we had 4. Over here, we had 3. That's 7. That is shy of 8. Oftentimes, you'll just have 8. You don't have to do any work. I'm glad that we have to do work here. But sometimes you just get 8 automatically after the scramble, and you get to skip this next step that we're about to do. So let's start with the highest number that we had over here. That was a 4. I think that was on the front and the back. So there's 1 there and there's 3 there. So I'm going to call this thing solved. I've got 4 in my left hand and we are not going to mess that up. We need to somehow manufacture the other 4 in my right hand. Why is it another 4? Because we're trying to total 8 and we got 4 already accounted for here. So to get up to 8, we need to find 4 pinks and purples over here on opposite faces. When I say find, I really mean create, manufacture. So we're going to do some RKT turns on this cube, keeping this guy right here fixed. We're not going to mess up the fact that we have 4 on opposite faces here. This step can be pretty tricky. I'll just do it as an example here, and you'll have to kind of do some figuring on your own when you get these cases. Looking around here, I like this bar. Can I make 2 more on the opposite side? So that'll give me 4 altogether. Yeah, I can put this purple one right up here. So I could do an R. It's illegal to do it without attaching that other cube. But just for exploration's sake, yeah, that gives me 2 right there. And then the 2 down on the bottom. Oh, shoot, we brought another one down here. So actually we have 5, which isn't the end of the world. It just means that we don't want actually 4 on this side. So I'm now switching tactics. I'm going to have 5 on this cube, which means I want 3 on this cube. And we did have a 3 on this cube. So let me see. There's 1 up there and then 2 back here. Perfect. So we do have 3. And we're just going to use these 3 here to manufacture the 5 over here. Remember, the goal is to do R on this cube. That gives me 2 up here and then 3 on the bottom. Let's put it back. So I'm going to hold this cube right here and attach it so that I can do an R, but I want to do it in a way that doesn't mess up the 3 that we already had. So there's 2 right there. And then on the opposite side, there's 1 up there. And so when we attach this face to do our R turn, it's not going to mess up the fact that we have 3 on the right and left of this cube right here. So we do R with 3 layers. We do R prime with 1 layer. And now we'll take it apart and just confirm all of our calculations. Looking up here in the U face, we have 2 pinks and purples. On the D face, we have 3. That's 5 altogether in my left hand. Looking over here at this face, the one that we intentionally attached, we've got still 2 on that side and then 1 on the opposite side, a total of 3 over here. In my opinion, that right there is the toughest part of the entire solution process of the 2x2x2x2. Just take some practice. In short, use RKT turns to make it so you have a total of 8 purple and pink stickers on the U and D faces of both of these cubes combined. All right, so we don't actually have them in the right spot right now. So we've got, again, 2 up there and 3 down there. So that's 5 in the U and D faces. I need to rotate this one so we get our 2 here in the U face or the D face. And then we got 1 left over in the D face. So that's 3 on top and bottom here, 5 on top and bottom here. And we'll put these cubes together like that. So let's go ahead and do the next move. Counting now U and D all together. I've got 4 up here, 4 down there, purple and pink, 8 all together. That's the magic number. And when you have 8 in the U and D faces all together, you do a gyro. So it's been a while since we've done a gyro. You plop that thing from the left to the right, open the book, put this thing back from the right onto the left. We'll turn the right cube twice, the back twice, the down face twice, and the left cube twice. So let's make some observations about the new state of our cube. What we're going to do is count pinks and purples now on the outside, not in the interior diamonds anymore, but the outsides. We'll start by counting them from the U layer. So pinks and purples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we'll flip it over and count the D layer pinks and purples, continuing from 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 stickers, pinks and purples, on the outsides. Why? Because we put 8 stickers in the interior diamonds on the U and D faces and then did a gyro. So those 8 stickers we just counted are the same ones that came from the interior diamonds. We know that in this entire puzzle, there are a total of 16 pink and purple stickers anywhere, and we've just forced 8 of them to be on the outsides. So where are the other 8 pinks and purples? Well, they must be in interior diamonds. let's confirm, but they can't be any place else. So looking on the top face, pinks and purples and interior diamonds, I don't see any. Here on the front face, I've got 1 there, 2, 3. Let's look here on this new front face. No pinks and purples, no pinks and purples. This face, that's number 4. Now we've got the outsides, none there. 5, 6, and then we've got the insides, 7 and 8, of course. That's where the other 8 pinks and purples are. Let's put these cubes together just like that, and then we'll bring in another cube over here, and I'll say that the next goal is to get the 8 interior pinks and purples that are on this entire cube to live on a single 2x2x2 and to live in opposite faces from each other. This is our next goal, is get all 8 of the stickers, pinks and purples, together on opposite faces of a single 2x2x2. And to do that, we are just going to go back and do basic block building exactly the same as we did in our previous video. So just to remind you, we are now going to be looking for pieces to solve in the top 2x2x2. We're going to do R2 turns in order to move those found pieces down into the bottom 2x2x2. And then we'll move them to the left-hand side down here for safekeeping, just like in the last video. So the first pink or purple that I see in this top 2x2x2 is right there. Let's put it in this position. This will look familiar from the last video. I just started last video by putting a white sticker right here in this position. Let's do an R2 to move this thing down into the bottom layer. And now when we do another R2 to bring that purple or pink right back here, it's going to pair up with the piece that is right here. So let's put a purple or pink right there. I see a purple or pink right here in the front. We'll rotate this top cube, put it right there. When we do R2, the other pink or purple comes back here. And now we have a match. It happens that they're both the same color. It doesn't matter. It would be perfectly good if one was pink and the other was purple. Let's move them to the right-hand side. Let's do an R2 to put them down in the bottom. And then finally turn this bottom cube to put them on the left-hand side. Just like that. Looking around for pinks and purples in interior places. All right, I see one right there. Let's put it up into our favorite pink and purple spot. Let's do an R2 to move it to the bottom. Now I'm looking for more pinks and purples. Oh, good. One just came up here. I need to put it right there so that when we do another R2 and that pink or purple comes back, it matches. Just like that. And now we'll put this pair on the right-hand side and then do an R2. So they go to the bottom and they meet the other pinks and purples. It's fine that they're different from each other. And then we're going to put these onto the left-hand face for safekeeping, just like that. And now, again, we have freedom to turn the right-hand side. Looking for more pinks and purples up in this top cube. I do see one right there. Let's put it right there in this top position. We'll do an R2. Looking for more pinks and purples up here. Oh, there's some right there. I'll put it right there. We actually have a pair. You could move the entire pair here and then flip it to the bottom, but I'll just be consistent and say I'm trying to match a sticker here with the one that's about to come back to that position. There they are. Again, doesn't matter that they're different colors now. Pink and purple are equivalent in this step. We'll put this pair in the right-hand side and then put it down to the bottom, just like that. And just like before, these used to be white in the last phase, 4 whites here and then 2 yellows here. And I pointed out it might be disconcerting to have the yellows not opposite the whites, but this is just a temporary spot. Totally fine that even though ultimately these pinks and purples are good here and we need pinks and purples here, not down at the bottom, it's all going to work out in the next step. And now finally, we are hoping that the remaining 2 pink and purple pieces are up in this top 2x2x2, and they are in this case, and there they are both up here, but it's quite possible that they could have been buried down here. If they are, I'll show you a special case how to solve it, but it's exactly the same technique as in the last video. When the pieces that you are looking for aren't up in the top one, but are in the bottom one, you just do some RKT turns to manipulate them and get them up to the top where you can work with them. So again, I'll show you how to handle that in just a moment. But for now, let's go ahead and solve this final pink-purple pair. We will get them right next to each other, paired up just like that. We're going to do RKT turns. I'll do it illegally first without this second cube being attached. I will consider this guy right here to be solved. I'll put that face down just like my whites are normally face down here. And I'll turn this one up to the top first with an L prime. And then I can do a U, putting it right here. And then when I do L2, then we get our pinks matched up. So putting it back, L2, U prime, and then L. This is where they were. Again, treating this one as being solved. The first turn I want to make is an L prime, but I need to attach the other cube to this one. And I'm going to be very careful and make sure I attach my solved pink purple stuff to the left-hand side here. So we do L prime with 3 layers, L with 1 layer. That puts the pink here. Then we're going to turn the top U to put this pink one over here. So we attach again the pink purple. We'll do 3 layers U, 1 layer U prime. And then finally, to put this one down on the bottom to match this guy, it'll go right here. We do an L2, attaching the pink and purple to the left-hand side. 3 layers L2, 1 layer L2. And just like that, we've got our final pink-purple pair. Let's take this guy and put it the way that it's supposed to be. So we knew that these guys here were on the left-hand side, just like that. And then we had a pink-purple pair that we put on the bottom. So we put that one on the bottom, just like this. These pinks and purples on the left-hand side like it was. And then this new pink-purple pair needs to come up here and live on the right-hand side. Just like in our last video, we'll pair these guys up with an R2. And now to get these ones to be opposite these ones, we put these ones on the right-hand side, just like before. And then we do an R2. And just like that, we've got our goal. We've got all 8 of these interior diamond pinks and purples on one 2x2x2, and they're opposite each other. And before we finish this cube, let's show you the special case. So here's a completely different scramble. We have 4 pinks and purples here. We have 1 pair, pink and purple here. So all that's left is to find the remaining 2 pink purple pieces that are going to be up here somewhere, pair them up like you just saw. I see 1 pink purple right there. Looking around at the rest of the interior diamonds, there actually aren't any pink and purple stickers up here. Where is it? Well, it's actually right here. It got brought down accidentally when I brought this pink purple pair to the bottom. So how do we handle this? Well, exactly the same as one of the special cases that I showed you in the last video. So the algorithm's on screen. We're going to put the 1 pink purple piece that lives up here. We're going to put it in the top right. Anywhere up here on the right-hand side actually is fine. I'm going to do an R2. That puts the 1 pink piece down here in the bottom for safekeeping, brings our pair up to the top, also brings the final remaining pink piece up to the top. I need to separate this pair from this guy. We're going to do it with an RKT turn, but before we do, we're going to attach the pink purples to the bottom layer of this top cube. We're going to do a U2 with 3 layers first, 1 layer second, and then we'll put the pink and purples back to the left, just like that. And now we've got our pink-purple pair that we made before separated from the pink that we just moved over here. And so now we'll do an R2, which is going to put these guys down at the bottom. It's going to bring this final pink piece up to the top so that the 2 pink-purple pieces will be ready for us to manipulate, 1 there and 1 there. And just to give you another example of pairing up the final pink-purple pieces, I'll do this one right here. We can pair these 2 up in 2 turns. I can turn the front face like this, putting the pink one here, and then I can turn the right face like this. So let's undo. And now we'll just pair them up legally. We'll attach the 4 interior pink-purple pieces to the front face. We'll do 3 layers clockwise, 1 layer counterclockwise. And then the other turn is R prime, again, attaching the pink purples. R prime with 3 layers, R with 1 layer. There's our pink purple pair. And then you proceed just like we did earlier, pairing up the 2 final pink purple pairs. And now back to the cube that came from our official scramble, which you might have in front of you right now. And it might look like we're far from the goal of having all the pinks and purples on the outside, but gang, we are so close. The rest of this is trivially easy. So first we're going to get ready to do a gyro. I want to do a gyro so that all of the pinks and purples end up in the interiors. These guys, 4 there and 4 there, are already in the interiors. These ones here on the left-hand cube, all 8 of them are now on the left-hand cube, are all on the exteriors. That's a great position to be in. So I'm just going to do the gyro like this, which is going to bring these 8 pink and purple outside stickers and bring them to interior diamonds. And it's going to keep these front pink and purple stickers and these back pink and purple stickers just where they are. So we'll do the gyro now. Open the book, right onto left, right twice, back twice, down twice, and left twice. And this is really good now because all 16 pink and purple pieces are in interior diamonds and they're in a great configuration for us to be able to put them all on the outside. So taking a look, we have 8 of them here in the U face, 4 of them here in the front but on the bottom, and then rotating around, the other 4 are in the back on the bottom. And when they're in exactly that configuration, which is how they will always be when you follow this process, you turn the right cube twice, which puts these guys here on the top. You turn the top layer twice, which pairs up all 4 of these, and we've got these ones here, And we've got those ones there, and we've got those ones there, gang. It is perfect. And then you turn the left cube so that the pinks and purples are on the top and the bottom. I'll do that step again just in case we missed it. So we'll put this one back, and then put this one back. So we had this configuration right after we did the gyro, and from here it's always the same. Right cube twice, x2, top twice, left cube x. And that makes it so that all of the pinks and purples are in U and D. And now we do the gyro, and that's going to put all of the pinks and purples on the outside. Make sure, again, you do the gyro when they're in the U and D positions. Left onto right, open the book, right onto left, right twice, back twice, down twice, left cube twice. And just like that, we've got all of the pinks and purples on the outsides. Credit where credit is due. This technique that I just showed you for orienting all 16 pink and purple stickers to the outsides of the cube is from Grant Hypercuber. They are on YouTube. When I initially started learning how to solve the 2x2x2x2, I saw a different technique for orienting the pinks and purples, and it was way harder. So as soon as I learned about Grant's technique, I said, that's the one for me. Now I'll show you the entire process again, but just the highlights this time. After you've scrambled the cube, you are going to start counting pinks and purples on opposite faces. And we are hoping to get a grand total of 8 pinks and purples on opposite faces. So in this case here, looking at the front face, I've got 2 pink and purples down there. Looking at the back face, I've got 3 of them. So that's 5 altogether on this side. And then here in the front face, I've got 1. And then looking at the opposite face, I've got 2. And so that's 3 over here. 5 plus 3 is 8. We are ready to go with our gyro. But if you don't have 8 pinks and purples on opposite interior diamond faces, then you just need to do 1 or more RKT turns to manufacture a grand total of 8. But once you've found your 8, you hold them so that they are in the U and D positions. So one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking at the bottom here, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the magic number. When you've got them, you hold them in U and D just like this. Then you do a gyro. And that's always going to result in exactly 8 purple and pink pieces now on the interior diamonds. And the next step is to start pairing up pink and purple pieces. So for example, I see 1 right here. I'll put this guy in the top right. I'll do an R2. Looking for another pink or purple that I can pair up. We'll put it right there. We do an R2. And now we've got that guy paired up. We'll put it on the right-hand side, down to the bottom, and now on the left-hand side for safekeeping. Just like that. Then we look for more pink and purple pieces to pair up. There's one, put it on the bottom. Looking for another one up here anywhere. There's one. Match up by bringing the other guy up to the top. There's a pair. Put it to the right, put it to the bottom. Now I've got 4 of these guys. We'll put them on the left. Looking for another pink purple piece up here. I see one right there. Put it here, R2. Looking for one more pink purple piece, hopefully somewhere up here on the top. There's one. We'll put it in this spot. You might need to do some RKT turns if the pink and purple pieces don't happen to always end up on the top layer like I had here. And just like that, we've got 4 pink purples there, 1 pink purple pair right there. And then we're hoping that the final 2 pink purple pieces are already here in this top cube. I see one right there, and gang, oh, there's the other one. We got lucky. But if it happens that the other pink purple piece is in one of these 2 positions, you just need to do that algorithm to separate it from the solved pink purple pair that's down here. But as it sits, we've got both of them up here on the top. So there's one here and one here. I'll treat this guy as being solved. We're going to put this one over here and then down to the bottom. So we'll attach the pink purples here. We'll do a U, 3 layers, 1 layer. Now this purple is right here. And if I do an L2, but first attaching the purple pinks, L2 with 3 layers, L2 with 1 layer, and now we've got our pair. Let's get this guy oriented correctly. We put the pinks and purples on the left. We put the other pink purple pair on the bottom, so it's just like that. We'll find the pair that we just built, put it here in the top left, R2, and then put these 4 on the right-hand side, and then do an R2. And now we've got our 8 pink purple pieces in 1 cube on opposite sides. Then we just need to hold it so that the pinks and purples are not in U and D. Any place that you put them that isn't on U and D is fine. So I'll do my gyro from this position. And that always gives us this configuration of pinks and purples, and we always solve it from here the same way. Right cube X2, top twice, left cube X. And that puts all the pinks and purples on the top and the bottom. And once they are there, you hold it just like that with the pinks and purples on up and down. Do the gyro one last time. And just like that, you've got the pinks and purples all oriented correctly. So this is a good stopping point for us. You now have all of the tools that you need to solve the 2x2x2x2. I've got one more video I'm going to put in this playlist. I'll show you an efficient way to randomly scramble your cube. I'll do a complete example solve from start to finish, and then I'll give you some pointers on improvements that you can make if you want to get faster at this puzzle. Thanks so much for watching.